Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Let's pull up our links here for sure. Today, you look at the prints there, 5K. This is already looking like it's going to be an interesting day. 6K iceberg failing to get through there. Man. Okay, so let's talk first. Okay, yesterday we did pretty good. It ended up being quite the trend day. Down. Like we left right here. I stopped trading somewhere around here. And I mean, man, look at this thing. It went so much lower that day. All of those people that went long got washed out. So pretty crazy. A perfect example of why I like to see the cumulative delta equalize. Now after that, there was some news that maybe the North Korea was unhappy that the United States was doing some military drills, like it always does, and you know, they dropped out of a planned meeting. So very, very bad for that. And I think that kind of pushed us up. But then in the overnight, early this morning, somebody came in and tried selling it again. They weren't able to get a new low before being rejected and then bringing us up to where we are now. So we're kind of in an odd spot. Yeah. They saying ZB retraced 22 ticks already. Well, I don't know. There are some people from the North Korea trade to wash out, maybe. The DOM, the only clues that I really see in the DOM are up there at 28. So that could be interesting. In other news, the E-mini is still just kind of sitting on the edge. So it definitely went down. Pretty good sell, in fact. But they aren't able to break 2,700. If they break 2,700, I might start to get a little worried. Art Cashin was saying that yesterday, and I kind of see why. I mean, then that would be a major pivot here, and if that really is a major pivot here, yeah, I mean, maybe we don't make a new low, but it certainly is not what we want to see. Well, there's still some volume going into that 24.5. And then finally in Bitcoin, we've got, well, we had a pretty crazy sell late yesterday evening, but it appears that they have recovered it for the most part. And futures just kind of playing along at the moment. If I come in here and just look at the raw values, so we're still at 140, but it measured at 86 yesterday, so we'll get a new value tomorrow, I guess. It's crazy. I keep telling people, hey, I can predict tops and bottoms in Bitcoin. They don't believe me. They don't believe me. Even though, look, there's a buy. There's a buy. I mean, you could have taken that one. I mean, it was crazy, but you could have bought it there. and sold it, you know? There's where you get the 100. That's kind of equivalent to this one. And then you buy it again, you sell. And then you buy it. You buy it here. And this time it never actually gets to the 100. So you just hold it, buy some more, buy some more, buy some more. Crazy there that in the, the October one, that was a buy, but should have done it. Nobody believes me, guys. Am I crazy? I just, you know, I do this. I post it, I look at the charts, and then I go and, you know, talk to Reddit, post to Reddit, and nobody believes me. And I'm like, am I really? I mean, I know what the chart says, and I know that it's been right. But am I crazy to think that it'll continue? I don't know. So it's a little bit, kind of messes with your head, having everybody be against you all the time. But yeah. Well, we should mark a couple of things here. Yesterday's low was 16.5. And the areas that we saw some kind of balance, 27. Two halves was a pivot. Yeah, okay. Lots of viewers on Twitch again today. Good morning, everybody. Oh, we do have news in 7 minutes, right? Oh, it's not until 8:30 building permits. Ugh. So this could make a today difficult trade for sure. It's definitely interesting to see it struggling here at 24.5. Okay, well, you took it that time. Sure looks like they want to go for lows. So my thought process right now is like, okay, maybe they go for highs. If they did though, maybe I can get a better entry. Maybe I can get it at like 24. Maybe even 23.5. But then if I actually got 23.5, do I really want to be filled there? Because then that means that they continued to struggle passing 24.5. Well, it looks like that has become an interest level now. They've gone back and forth across it several times now. So maybe I shouldn't be so worried about that. Given where the VWAP is and everything, you know, we're risking 3, and I think that you could get the 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something like that. So the risk reward for the highs is okay. delta is moving higher, so I think we could put an order in here at 24.5. Yeah. Okay. So it continues to be a level that just goes back and forth. I need to be careful because this could be, I mean, this is still a level that they're having trouble with. I'm going to put an eye there though, since it has gone back and forth a couple of times. And Tucker's saying it looks like a pretty big spread today. You know, I remember a long time ago, like almost a year ago, I remember there was one trading day where we had like a really monster trend day that kind of reminded me of what we had today, but it was based off of news, I believe. And the next day was like crazy pivots. It was like it went up 8 and then it went down 8 and then it went up 8 and then it went down 8, and it just did that all morning. And you just caught the icebergs. Now today we had an iceberg there and they got through it, so I don't think that that's what's happening today. But that kind of goes through my head as like sometimes after a big move, you know, there's a lot of swinging around because everybody's repositioning, and some people are looking for it to continue and some people are looking for it to retrace. And so you can get, like you were saying, like a big spread, you know? I think on a day like today, you can look for continuations, but you've got to be looking for the profit because it can stop quickly. Okay, well, 2209 is now absorbed into 24.5, so that's good. If we can get some of this offer in ZF to pull, I think that we could maybe get a tick. Notice that when they tick down, no strong offer placed, but they did tick down in both of these. Okay, and no strong bid either. So we are definitely quote unquote balanced. I think balanced with pressure to the upside. Okay, do we have news here at 6:30? Because they kind of look like they're pulling, but no, not really though. Okay, but the level 2 did just pick up for some reason. That's kind of interesting. Let's just pull up Twitter here, make sure that we're not missing something. Because the level 2 is kind of acting a little bit odd all of a sudden. Oh, I do see that there was some news. Is my calendar here messed up? Oh, my calendar is messed up. There is the news right now. Okay, I'm in mountain time. Durr. Okay. Okay, building permits came in as expected. Housing starts slightly under expectations. Okay. It hit at 312. We might just take a -1 here. Yeah. I think so. That should have held stronger than it did. Okay. No, I got out. That Q was asking if I was still long. Yeah, thanks. I knew it was being fidgety and it ticked down and it ticked down, even though it was, you know, there wasn't a huge offer put on there. They shouldn't have been able to tick down through it that easily. That says to me we didn't have as good of an edge as we thought we did. So, should take it off. Now, it is possible this ends up being a fake breakout and we get back up to the 24.5, but then, you know, we can just get back in, I think. It really shows pressure. I think the problem you have now is that there was so much that went through at 24.5 for us to fall down here. We might fall down back to this other node. And then at that point, we might start to be looking at range-bound trading. Bund. What's the bund doing? The bund looks like it wants to pull us up. Okay, so now they're hitting 24 and they're hitting icebergs again. I'm just noticing that a lot of the correlations that we look at seem to be indicating up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dude, guys. CBOE, IHS Markit, and BlackRock join forces to launch the first US corporate bond index futures. Click here to view the full press release. Yeah, no, that link doesn't work. Well, I'm really interested. I think that this is going to be something we can watch and incorporate into our trading. Maybe even trade. Might be a much more volatile instrument though. I'm excited. White House says still hopeful meeting with North Korea leader takes place, prepared for tough negotiations. Spokesman Sanders to Fox News. Okay, so I'm not so sure that we could say that there's been more volume down than up, but the bids have certainly not been holding as well as the offers have they? Because we got some good ticks up here at 24 halves, but these ticks at 24 and 35 was only once and they held it. So Zero Hedge is saying that the housing starts and so forth plummeted. Seems like the top line numbers weren't very, you need to be dived into a little bit. The thing though is that that would tend to push us up, and we're not moving up. Okay, so 8K at 23. That's kind of expected to see a lot of absorption at the VWAP. Okay, they're able to bust that. We could think about going short if they went for the lows of the day. That would definitely be a reasonable risk-reward ratio. Cumulative delta wise, I don't know if we have the support to do it. Okay, well, we ticked up there and they beat out a pretty big order at 23. I don't know. I think that ZF could take another tick down here because it's that 30 quarter that they pivoted off last time. Of course, now you're seeing a decent amount of iceberging here at the 30.5. One tick higher. Lou Barletta won in Pennsylvania for the GOP nomination. I think that's good. Well, I mean, I think that's good for Republicans because I think that was the one, wasn't the guy that they didn't want, so the guy that they thought would lose to a Democrat. What a ridiculous headline. Tommy Lahren criticized for comparing cutting in line at Whole Foods to illegal immigration. Okay. Hmm. Well, this has been a pretty dull start. We're actually like right on the edge of my ADX saying that we're on a trend. So like, if they were able to touch 22, maybe we could go. So like, if we have a breakout down, I think we have a trade. But it just, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to do it to me. At the moment, it looks like it could just rotate between 23 and 24 half. Or maybe like we come up to 24 half, pivot again, and then maybe they could break out to the bottom. But then if they do break out to the bottom, people probably take profits then, and it won't get much further than that. And it has been 20 minutes now since the news. So I think we're about to the point where we can start thinking about trading this range bound. You see that when they hit 23 half that a lot of people pulled? But then they ticked down. So maybe got some shenanigans going on here. A bit of buying in ZF. I mean, there's volume going both ways, but there's more on the buy side in ZF. The same with ZB. All three of them are doing volume here. This is interesting. Although where ZF is, where the 10-year is doing the volume is a little different from the other two, isn't it? Okay, they tried to get out in the 5-year and it didn't. They got fought and pushed back down. I don't know. Well, so the interesting thing about Tucker was talking about watching the bids at 22 half and 22. That one at I think it's 22 half. No, the one at 22 was not there originally. See here, it just shows up right there. Hasn't been there the whole time. Okay, well we did tick up. Or are they gonna touch 24 so that we get a new bar? As of yet, nobody has bought it. Okay, so they are hitting 24 now. In fact, we're seeing some pulling as the ZF is about to push. Okay, they're trying to tick up above the VWAP in ZF, and it's not going. Didn't go, and so the volume piled on at 24. So the level 2 in ZN appears to be reacting to the movement in the 5-year. Okay, so they ticked up and they were able to hold a little bit of volume. And it's pushing. It's really pushing. Oh man, 334 and not filled. I think I should be patient. I think that I still have a decent chance of getting filled at 24, and I don't know if this trade makes as much sense at 24.5. I mean, if it goes 20, then I'm gonna say 24.5 was a good place, but I think that if you get in at 24.5, that you got a good chance of just getting jerked around a bit. So I'm definitely getting a sense of there wasn't a whole lot of interest when we were testing down. Now that we're testing up, there's a lot more movement and volume. So based on that, I do think that we have a good chance of testing the highs. Here's the F is kind of stuck there. Well, we're definitely in an interesting situation because we have that we're 300th in line at 24. But at this point, I don't know what the chances are of getting filled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this at 24.5. If we get filled at 24, I will just take one tick profit off of it. So this is interesting now that the 10-year has ticked up and is holding a pretty good bid, and the 5-year has not, ticked back down and has not gone back up. So if the 5-year ticks up, are we going to see the 25 and the 10-year pull? If the 5-year ticks up, it could be really good. The moment though, there's a little bit of stacking on. I think that we need the 31.5 to pull a little bit. Okay, so the 31.25 pulled. A little bit of volume went through, but not a ton. So there's doing it again. This might be a lure. Oh, okay. So maybe they're actually reacting to the 30-year here. Perhaps. Still not filled. Now ZB is curiously close to a new high and not breaking through. I think there's a pretty good chance that it will. Some absorption right there. Another tick up with a strong bid, and we're still not filled at 24. The fact that this is not filling is bullish. Okay, so ZB not quite ready to make a new high, I guess. It's now touched it 4 times though. I think if we tick back up, I think you see a lot more than 77 contracts trade there. Yep. Okay, so this 1787 in the 5-year. I think that we could see that pull. That seems to be, like in terms of resistance. And that's the biggest fighter right now, is a 5-year. A lot of people, pretty decent offer trying to hold it. Okay, now I'm starting to see a possible level break setup in ZB. Okay, we're seeing lots of volume going into 25 and hitting icebergs. Given the context, I'm not sure that I want to take the profit there at 25 because there's a level break set up here in ZB, and if it goes, it's going to go up to 21. Okay, well, there's still only been 77 contracts at 19, so let's keep that in mind. Okay. So that time on a tick up, there was at least two guys that got stopped out. We see buyers hitting this 25 pretty aggressively again. This is this offers 181 went through at 31 3/4. So now it's 16 instead of 17. That kind of okay. A little bit of a pulling, but not actually. Okay, so some pulling at 31 3/4. I think that most of these guys probably actually want to be filled in the 5-year. In the 10-year, this is looking to be like a 10K order, most likely. ZB ticking back and forth at 18 pretty freely now. A lot of contracts absorbed at 18, so this is, again, I think a pretty good level break setup. They're absorbing one tick below the high. And this one, like a level break on its own without like a strong trend, is 50-50. I think that this one is probably a little bit better than 50 because of the way that the pressure has been and everything. And then the sisters seem to be confirming it. But given that context, if they do break it, I think it may only break it for like a tick, you know? So if we get a rush, I think I want to be getting out at that point. Problem is nobody wants to aggressively hit 19. So if it goes, it may be like all at once. This is what we're looking at right now, I think. Every time ZB ticks up, you start to get more and more orders coming through in the 10-year. This bid in the 5-year is a little stronger now. Okay, that time they actually ticked down. There in the 30 is, I think, important. Okay, wait, so this 24 got filled, and now suddenly I'm not liking it, so I'm going to try and just take it all off. Okay, a lot of people bailing here. Okay, now ZB, hold on. The ZB is pointing up again. Man, okay, there's just a lot of volume coming through here. I'm really surprised that ZB isn't just going up for the high. And like Treasuries here with the way that they hit that 24 are making it seem like things are really, really negative. And I'm not so sure that the positioning in ZB really justifies it. That could be definitely a warning sign here. We're getting decent absorption at 17, so there's that. See them react to the attempted upticks there. Man. Okay, so ZN is now practically dead. No volume coming through. Very few level 2 changes. This right here. 30-year having trouble, I think. Yeah, down tick. Pretty strong down tick here. Well, now we definitely have to get rid of this. Okay. Unfortunate. Well, I guess that the iceberg at 25 won out in the end. That was -3 on that one, right? Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Yep, very tough. We were kind of seeing it as range, you know, about 30 minutes ago, though, didn't we? But the thing is that like your ability to get actually filled on either end of the range is ugh. Okay, well that's interesting. They ticked down and they put a pretty good bid at 23.5. But there's iceberging at 24. I don't know. I want to click in here at the 24. But I've already been wrong twice about it going up here. A moment looking like you wouldn't have gotten filled at 24 anyways. Sure. Let's try this again. That was a sketchy pull right there at 24. I know, right? Yeah, Tucker was just saying this is like this is the third time that we've tried this. I think what should have happened was the first one we wouldn't have gotten, and we got the -1 on it. The second one, it shouldn't have been here, should have been back at the VWAP. And then we could have taken +2 on it when it didn't go through, or maybe even +3 or 4. It would be 3. Could do 3, or we could have gotten out at the iceberg. I'm wondering if that's what happened, was somebody got long at the 23 and they decided to get out of the iceberg. And just the way I'm seeing it right now is they decided to lean on 23.5, and look at how much that is solidified. So even if they break through this 24, then you have all these orders at 23.5, and what are the chances that they're going to be able to pull enough volume to do that? So I think that we can just lean on this price. In fact, if I get filled here, I might just put another order in at 24 and see if we can do it again. So we're kind of in the experimental area for me, but I've seen this so many times where it's slow like this, and I could have taken it between these two prices multiple times. And that said, I'm not getting filled at 24.5 yet, even though it did pull. Nope. But like I said, this 23.5 is pretty thick. Sorry, not higher highs, higher lows. Well, they took out 23.5 and it was not 5K. I'm thinking back here trying to figure out how I should have played this, and I'm not sure that I can correctly navigate this this flow. Well, a little patience helps, I guess. One thing I'm noticing is that the knob spread has flattened a little bit this morning. There you go. So now it's a lower low. So now the trade is definitely dead. Interestingly enough, we are not seeing people puking. Not yet, at least. Ouch. That should have taken both of them out. I'm sorry. Okay, so here is the E-mini open. Looks like they're on the moment that they actually looks a little positive in the E-mini. Yeah. So I was asking, like, how would you play that? Because there's a pretty good chance of it taking the high. So I'd like to try and play it for going higher, but I would prefer to be getting it at like 23. And when it was at 23, you know, there was no way for us to know that they were gonna try testing higher. So, um, and Tucker was just saying, well, the only thing that you can do is fade it. Well, now that's two strong ticks down. Two strong ticks down on equities action, though. I don't know. Like, it seems to me that if we're still range bound, that this spot right here at 22 is where you want to take it. But like, really, how can you hit into that right now? Well, now I can try it. Yeah. Let's move that. Actually, we'll put that at 3 because if they start taking the 21, we want to just take it out on our own. And this stop is really supposed to be like a stop. And on the volume stop, I mean, it hasn't. I mean, when we were live trading, I think there was one time where it gave us slippage of a tick. So I mean, maybe that fee should be 900, but I'm not too. Should change it. Oh, I know why I changed it. Remember, we changed it that one time, but it didn't actually do anything because we didn't change the strategy. You have to change the strategy. Let's change that to 900. Nah, I think that if it's 2000, it would get hit every time. I think the highest that I would be willing to put it is like 1400. It's kind of like, here's the thing, it's kind of like if you're at that point and it's getting pulling then you're kind of wrong. And if it takes you on like a on a rush, you're kind of screwed anyways. I don't know if it's. I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to it. There's not one last chance to hope for break even. No, and it's really like really it's I should be stopping it before it gets to the stop, right? I'm kind of pissed that this is working, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be mad. Like we've correctly identified since about 6:45 my time, so for about the past 45 minutes they were range bound. And we tried taking some breakout trades that failed. So then that time when it looked like it was really breaking down, I took the range bound trade and it worked. So I should be happy. Um, so now the question is, okay, should I have taken the range bound trade much earlier? Well, when it came back to the VWAP, when was it at the VWAP? At about 6:45. So I could have taken it long at the VWAP and made profit off of the first attempt to break out. Taking it doesn't break out, get out. Now, on this one, it honestly, it doesn't look done to me. Um, but this 23.5 has the pull, and they're not exactly pushing it at the moment. So yeah, I gotta be careful because they could just stop anywhere they want. Okay, so now the E-mini is breaking, it just broke a new high, but Treasuries have yet to react to that. I mean, that's good for the E-mini because if they were, okay. Still at 24 might be difficult. So now here's question number 2 is, should I leave my take profit order in there? I actually think based on the absorption here at 23.5 that it's going to be tough, but that we could get filled at 24. And maybe even filled at 24.5. Um, but one of my theories was if we're range bound, that I need to take set profit targets. So I guess we should try and stick and test to that theory. So we'll just take the automatic profit at the +4. Hmm. Okay, so there's been a decent amount of selling at 23.5, and it's held. Okay, so now it's 6K. Problem is the 5K of us sitting at 24 aren't aren't going to pull. Don't think. Hmm. Okay, so now an 8K iceberg on the bid. Hmm. So that one, did you notice there was stuff on the bid and I hit it, and it still put in a limit order? So I guess maybe there are some instances where the simulator, where the jigsaw simulator is a little slow. So here's the thing about that one. Like I was saying, it kind of makes me a little mad that it works. So I don't think that mad is the right word. It's just like, for some reason, I almost don't want to make money on the counter trend trade, you know? Am I just afraid of it for some reason? It seems to me that I have some sort of emotional thing going on here about range bound trades. Maybe it's like, I know I've had trouble with range bound trades for a while, or range bound days rather, and maybe I'm just mad at myself that it's there and I can see it, and it'd be so easy for me to take it and overcome that, and I just wasn't willing to. Maybe that's why I feel this way, because it almost feels like that the answer is too simple. It seems to me that the volume is coming down, so we're gonna try a range bound again. Okay, ZF ticked down. Where would this go to? 21.5? I suppose I could hit in here. I think we need to say if we're taking a range bound trade, we've got to get the spot. So no hitting into 22.5. If it goes without us, it just goes without us. Okay, well now it looks like the spot has changed. E-mini is definitely buying. Kind of interesting because I was really worried that they were just gonna immediately test the lows, in the E-mini, and that could be ugly. There's this pivot here at 27.20, so they might move up to test that and turn around. Although I would say that this buy in the E-mini has been strong enough that there's a pretty good chance that they'll go through it. This one in the E-mini, so it would be 27.18. Buy it at 27.18 and get out of it at 27.20. the deltas now are starting to get a little mixed and uncertain. ZF, the 5-year continues to show buying, but the 10 and 30 continue to show selling. So are we seeing some steepening here? Well, when I look at the FYT, it's still mostly flat. Although I think that you could buy it. Steepener would be appropriate here. Okay, 4K iceberg at 22, but we're to the point now where unless it's a 10K iceberg, it probably doesn't matter. Would we have gotten filled at 18? Unclear. Wasn't paying enough attention. Okay, 8K at 22. This is where we took it last time. Now it's bouncing back and forth again. So Tucker's going short here, huh? Well, I have to say, if it starts selling here, we are no longer range bound. Let's just say that, right? And if we start going down here, it's going to put a real dampener on the rally in the E-mini. Okay. So it's showing me a lot of uncertainty here. It's traded back and forth at 22, and both each time that it does, they're able to put a lot on for the tick. 2,000 each time. Although the volume overall is negative. So I think we should, I don't know, thinking about scratching it. The E-mini came short of that 2720. So if the E-mini starts going down, is that going to push Treasuries up? That time that they ticked up, they really put some size on there at the 22. That time 4,000 instead of just 2. Okay, well, it was a good tick up, but it's not, we're not necessarily seeing people buy 22.5 yet. Man, maybe it just ranges all day long, right? I feel like you're starting to understand me now. This is where I'm like, well, screw this. Like even this trade right now, granted I did catch the edge for the time being at least. And I do have 4K behind me, which is really nice. But there's also 4K on the other side. And the whole thing just seems super scary to me. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be able. So we're experimenting. For those of you that aren't so familiar, we're doing a little bit of experimenting, and we're trying to figure out the whole range bound versus trending thing. So this is a sim account. If this was a live account, there's no way I would have I would be way too afraid, and I would be clicking out. So the whole thing just seems a little, you know, okay, well, there was a pull, that was good. Interesting. So the offer pulled, a bunch of people bought, they didn't break it, and then the bid pulled, and we got 1,000 orders sold, but it was much more people bought than sold. It was like everybody was just sitting there waiting for the same thing, and then they all took it, and then they didn't actually get a tick out of it. I think it pulled pukes lower. Here's the thing. I don't know. That how low can treasuries really get now? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that time they ticked down and they actually ticked. It wasn't a strong offer, but they actually did go through. It may possibly have been the same people that bought at 22.5. Okay, now that well, Tucker's saying it, he thinks it's gonna puke. Um, um, Interesting. So there's your 2718 in the E-mini. Okay, so there's a huge iceberg at 21.5. So I don't want to sell into the iceberg. Okay. So they beat out the iceberg. So I think we just let this take us out if they decide to keep going. Hmm. They're absorbing at 21.5 again. But they beat it out. Well, that is a lot of sell volume at this point. Yeah. Um, I want to do an experiment here in the E-mini. Okay, yeah. Okay. So maybe on some of these, it may be appropriate to just move the stop up to the -2 and just let that take us out. Now that it's done that, we can definitely sell it with more confidence. Good job. Oh, did not fill. So the reason I'm taking this experiment in the E-mini is because we're definitely getting significant sell volume in treasuries now at this point. And if treasuries decide to break lows, that's really going to put a damper on this equities rally. I think I can maybe have to give it a little bit more room than that. Need those 6K bids to pull. Well, it was 4K when it was the inside bid, right? So this is still crazy range bound, dude. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. The jigsaw thing is a little slow. Well, this looks like if we're still saying it's range bound, I think maybe now we can take it. Well, probably should have held on to that in the E-mini. I didn't see a bubble. I should have waited for a bubble. I guess that means that if it comes back up here, we could probably take it short again. Well, not now. Yay! Okay, well, I like this fill at 21, at the very least. So I think I caught an okay spot, but you know, it's gonna have to tick up. We should reset this at least. Get these all even again. There we go. Well, 22 was about where things went south before, right? So we may have to get out there. Okay. May have to get out at 21.5, frankly. The way this is, the F is not holding its bid. Okay. E-mini is awfully uncertain at the moment. $21.5 continues to hold. I see Iceberg and ZF here too. So I think I need to take my hand off of it here and just let it do its thing. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can just get the +1 on it now. Yeah. Good deal. And I definitely don't want to be buying it with that 3,500 going on. Seems like the sellers want another shot, especially in ZB. Look at the offer in ZB. They want to push it down. So I am down today, but I was just looking at like if I had traded this the way that in retrospect I think I should have traded it, I'd still come out basically to break even. Maybe that's okay though. It's a tough day. I'm gonna post should be posting my Patreon here. Okay. Well, I think that's it for me today. I think we got some valuable experience, but I don't think we've got it figured out. Tucker was saying traded well. Wait, well, so let me try and explain here. Okay, so if we were live, okay, so first of all, if we were live, I wouldn't be able to take 2 contracts on these. So let's say that this one is -4 and this one is -1 or -2. So that gives us 6 ticks. So that basically puts us break even, right? And then maybe if we took if we just didn't take these trades at all and looked for it to go, then maybe we get a profit. Maybe if we had traded, so right here is, I'm wondering if the way that I need to do this is I need to say, okay, it is now 6:45, no trend has developed, I should start trading range bound. Then I may have been able to buy it here at the VWAP and made 4 on that. So maybe I could have made 4 ticks just on that. But that one's super scary, so I don't know if that one I can take. And then the rest of these are like, okay, the 220, that one was right. The 220, I was also counter trend trading, but the pressure was against me. So I lost one. Maybe I shouldn't have taken that one. I mean, Tucker definitely saw that there was pressure and there was definitely selling into it. So who knows? Maybe I shouldn't have taken that one. The E-mini trade maybe doesn't matter. Because I don't think I'm going to trade the E-mini when I go live. But it's still nice that I got it. And then these two are just, you know, 1 ticks, they are what they are. So like when you take it all out, and you take this one, and you take these, it's still like just barely break even. And then when you add the commissions into it, you know, it doesn't work out. ES ran well though, maybe that's our niche. Yeah, I took that one off a little too early too, didn't I? Because I took it at 18. I took it like up here at 18, and I took it off at, where did I take it off? 27.15. So there was actually, probably could have gotten 200 out of it. I don't know. The thing is, when you look at it, you had a good trend up and a good trend down, is how I look at that. And so I still think that where I do well is trends. You know, because if these days where's a good example of the E-mini just going sideways? I don't know, maybe this one. Certainly when it's that small of a range, I don't know if I would do very well in the E-mini in that case. And the larger problem is I would need to have a much bigger account to trade the E-mini. Yeah, DS sure does like to trend. Well, it's not just the trend though. It's like, if I can draw a picture, I'm gonna bring up paint here. Okay. Picture brush width like 15. Does that work? Okay, cool. So like when Treasuries trend, it looks something like this. Okay, that's kind of what yesterday was. Okay, when the E-mini trends, it looks something like this. So that's why I don't like the E-mini so much. Does that make sense? And then when treasuries are range bound, it's something like this. And maybe they go a little lower, something like that. Okay. When the E-mini trends, or sorry, when the E-mini is range bound, it's something like it's just, I don't know. I feel like if I lose money on this one, I would really lose money on this one. And it's the same thing with oil. Like oil, well, oil is a slightly different story. So where do I get BTC? Well, so the Bitcoin chart that you're looking at right here, Ganazi, is the Bitcoin futures on the CME. So that's where I'm getting that from. And then the rest, you know, I just use a regular chart. This is art, right? So oil, I mean, I haven't messed with oil for a long time, but you know, oil is like, okay, let's say that we're in a range here in treasuries. Okay, like we had what we had today. It came up and it didn't quite do it, and it came up and it didn't quite do it, and it didn't do it, and then it goes whoop, and then maybe it kind of flattens and it goes like that. Okay. Oil is kind of more like this, right? So if you're expecting it to not break out of the range, if you went short, you get screwed on that one. Whereas in the treasuries, if I'm wrong on that one, it's like 2. It's like -2. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, my profit potential is much bigger, but my losses are much bigger too. And so again, I think to safely trade oil, I would need way more. And like when I first started, oil was the one that interested me the most because I knew that I had, back in the QE days, this is what would happen in the QE days, is you'd get this, it would go like that all day. And then it would even off like that. And so I had a little indicator that would just tell me when that happened, and then I would buy and write it all day. That doesn't really happen anymore. But because I did that and I knew oil was the one that did that the most, when I first started, I tried doing oil, and I would lose $1,000 every day. So yeah, I would probably need a much bigger account to do CL. So I think the account size, yeah, I think that the account size alone kind of limits us to treasuries. But I'm gonna close this now. No more pictures. But there is some good news on that, and that is that when we look at daily ranges here on this thing, okay, generally speaking, we do tend to have more trend days than we do range bound days in treasuries overall. Okay, so see this area right here, back last September, pretty good trends, good trend days. So some of these are days that you could still make money. Okay, and then we had a range bound period. We had like a week of range bound, and then look, some more trend days, a range bound period. This was like a range bound period, but it was one that was really swingy. So I think that I still could have made money over there. So I was kind of just working things out during this time. Okay. Like this was when I was having trouble here. Okay, so here, December, range bound period, one trend day in December, but I actually did okay in December. So it's like I can trade the range bound markets, or at least I did in December. Okay. January, pretty good trends, even though there was a couple of really slow days in there. Okay. February really did really great. So like we did good through all that, even in through February. And then what happened March? Range bound period. Okay. And then April, I don't think we've done so well in April, but I think that wasn't the market. I think that was me being tilty. So like when you'll notice that the range bound days tend to come in, well, and I'm looking at ZF, we should probably look at ZN. But, you know, like these doji days, for instance, you know, they're not nearly as common. And when they do happen, they tend to all happen in similar spots. So overall, I think that the amount of days where I can do well and the amount of days where it's really, really bad for me, there's a lot more, you know, I think it's maybe like 40 to 60 ratio in favor of the ones that are good for me. And the amount of money that I make on a good day, I think it can be a lot more. I mean, because I can make 4 to 8 ticks on a good day, and on a bad day I can lose 1 to 4 ticks. But where we get into trouble is when I think I'm tilted, or I just keep trying to trade it and failing at figuring it out, you know, that you know, where I can get -8 on a bad day. You know, like today, if I had just continued trading the way that I normally trade, I think that I would have taken, that would have been -1, -2, this one again could be -2 to 4. So you're already down 6, and then I'd stop. So I could be down 6 to 8 and just stop, and that would be it. And then if somehow we had just traded better, then when we dropped at 220, I think I would have tried to take it for continuation. So then there would have been another loss. So you're still talking about -48 ticks. And so in order for this to work, I either, one, have to make days like today profitable, or two, we need to just realize where the problem is and just say we're not going to trade it at all. And I have a couple of theories here, okay? And well, I don't know about a couple of theories. I know I've had thoughts in the past, but I think I forget most of them. But the one thing that is really standing out in my mind today, at least, trending markets, and we can just discuss what's hot for the day and just go for that one. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, that's what I did during QE and when I was paper trading, and I did good, let me tell you. But markets were very different. There was always something moving back then. So anyways, what was I going to show you over here? Okay, so ZN. So here's my thought. If so we start at 620. If by 6:45 or so, let's say 7 o'clock. Okay, if by 7 o'clock, what is the range here? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think that if the opening range is less than like 8 ticks, I just stop right there. And if we had done that, and really not taking a trade until we start seeing a trend, if we did that, I think I would have taken this first trade. Look, was that 632? Oh, and then the next one was at 656. So I wouldn't have taken it. So I would have been -1 for the day, and that would have been it. So we're going to start tracking that. In fact, I'm going to sit down. I do have a sheet, don't I? I started one. Yes, here it is right here. That's not quite what I want. So I'm just going to start a new sheet. I'm going to say, okay, range days or bad days. And today was 5/16/2018. Okay. And then we're going to say, actually, let's do it like this. Let's say the date. Before 7 o'clock. After 7 o'clock. Okay. 6 ticks. After 7 o'clock. So from, where did it go? Where did you go, Zian? There we are. Okay, so since 7 o'clock, we've gone, so it was at 25, and now it's at 19.5, so it was 11 ticks. 11 ticks. And I'm also going to say, after 7 o'clock edge, and I'm going to say break even, essentially, after that point. Okay. Negative. Maybe our before 7 o'clock edge doesn't count, because maybe we say that we always trade that. I'm just gonna say range bound before 7 o'clock. Action. This one I'm gonna say I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my head around how to track this, because the thing is we could have just gone short here and just ridden it all day and made 10 ticks. And I would have been like, hey, it's a good trend down. You know what I mean? So I shouldn't say this. This is action. Before 7 o'clock. So that's what I should say. Test up failed. Slow move down. Okay. So yeah. The other thing that we could maybe say is maybe if it's just slow for the first 30 minutes, that direction is just not happening or something. I don't know. We could just say, look, this move up failed. Don't trade. Maybe we could have seen that really the delta is almost all negative from here. I mean, at what point would you be able to say? I think maybe at this point you could say that, hey, we're probably going down. I don't know. At that point, you would be like, ah, maybe they actually are going to test it. And then at this point, now at this point, you can say it's short, but then how do you know how far it's going to go or if it's going to make a new low? And would you have actually made that much? So maybe it's not worth it. Anyways, I don't know. Any more thoughts? Yeah, have some good points, guys. Dave is all, I come in and you're drawing in paint. What has your show developed into? Kindergarten crayon time? Oh man, we're just trying to describe why other markets really, even though they might have some nice trends, aren't necessarily better action for me. Now on the other hand, we probably could have come out break even today. I don't know. And another thing is that we could say is, hey, we don't trade this, but then maybe we still trade the E-mini. And then we would have come out profitable. So I think we have some interesting possibilities here. We just, I think that we just got to test it. And the thing is I don't think that I'm going to have, I'm definitely not going to go into this, like go back into live trading during the summer. Because summer you tend to have range bound days. So the summer is going to be a really great time for us to just test out some of these theories and develop it. So we got time to do this. Oh, why am I? So I clicked in here. Oh, was it a stop? Did I have a stop in here that got filled? No, it says that I went in at market. That's lame-o. I think they're gonna make a new high though. Let me just put it right there. Or actually no, because that might take a while. Let's see if they don't push through this 27.1950, then I'll take it off at break even. Or even better yet, let's just do the +1. Yeah. Come on, E-mini, you can do it. Come on. Come on. Okay, so their treasuries just took a dip. And look, somebody's setting up for the level break. Oh. Oh, that one looks so beautiful. 4,000. Well, there goes ZB. E-mini did not like that. There he goes. So it was a successful level break lower. I guess that one didn't work out. Boo. Okay. Well, we were accidentally clicked into that one anyways. I don't know how that happened, but I gotta be more careful. Alright, I will catch you guys